It is now that I realized that in my present state it was impossible for me to continue living and playing chess. I traveled to Tbilisi and there they removed my diseased kidney, which evidently should have been done from 2 to 3 years earlier. If it is possible to talk at all about Renaissance, that was how I felt when I came round after the operation. On roughly the fifth day, I was already impatiently awaiting my next tournament. It was just at this time that a rumor began to spread to the effect that during the operation I had suffered a complete and final defeat. It reached Yugoslavia, and my friends from the Moscow Soviet Theater, who were on tour there at that time, were saddened to read in a number of Yugoslav newspapers of the death of Tal. I hastened to reassure my friends, quoting the words of one of the classic humorists. The rumors about my death are greatly exaggerated. Hello chess lovers, Suetin here, and in today's video I want to share with you an interesting game which Mikhail Tal played a month later after his operation while competing in a strong international tournament in Tbilisi. The game is from 1969 Goglidze Memorial, where Tal together with Gurgenidze shared the first place. With this being said, now we can go through the game. The 8th World Chess Champion opened up with e4, to which Suetin answered with c5. The good old Sicilian defense is on the board. Black is choosing the so-called Khan variation. With his fourth move, Black is taking under control the b5 square, preparing an eventual b5 advance. At the same time, when playing queen c7, you can no longer harass the queen with knight b5. Bishop d3, knight e7, knight c3, knight c6. Knight e7 move is a multi-purpose move. Now if you capture on c6, then Black can recapture with the knight. And if not, something which we see in the game, this time Black is putting his knight on g6. But seems like that having the knight on f6 is a better idea. Time shows that usually on b6 the knight doesn't feel that well, it's somewhat placed awkwardly. Tal castled kingside, b5, bishop e3. Although we have castling short, but this doesn't mean that we can't see an aggressive attacking game. In this type of positions, even a short castling can lead to a bloody battle. f4, bishop e7, queen h5. We have a very active jump of white queen, and if we take a look at the position, we can see that Tal managed to set up his pieces in the most possible aggressive way. Soon f5 can also land, and already Black has to be very careful. Bishop f6, rook a d1, although according to Stockfish playing e5 is also something worth of taking into consideration. If d takes e5, then bishop e4, and if queen c7, then f5, and this leads to massive complications, and at the same time white is of course gaining a huge advantage. Now if e takes f5, then knight d5 can follow, and then rook d1, and Black is in trouble. But in our game after bishop f6, we have rook a d1 move, which is also a strong move. Bishop takes c3, b takes c3, queen c7, rook d2. White can both double up his rooks on the d file, putting pressure on d6, or on the f file, supporting the advance of the f pawn later again in order to put pressure down the f file. Knight ce7, knight d4, bishop d7. Well, in case of a queen takes c3 already, you can go for f5. In the game we have bishop d7, but anyways f5 followed. E takes f5, e takes f5, knight e5, and there follows bang, knight e6 with a double attack. So we can see that in this game, up to this point, Suetin didn't castle, but how could he castle, for example, at any moment? If he castled kingside, then that could lead to a catastrophe, right? So he decided to leave the king in the center and then in future try to figure out where to find a safe square for the king. But in this game we see that Suetin's king was not destined to have a castle. Bishop takes e6, f takes e6. Now white is just threatening to capture on f7. Suetin played g6 to neutralize the queen, but with his next move, Tal destroyed opponent's defense. Please pause the video and try to find Mikhail Tal's next moves. Although I guess that probably many of you know this game, this is a very popular game, and to be honest, earlier I even published it, but once got extra information about the game, decided to republish it with a fresh look. So, have you already got the solution? Then here we go. In here, the magician from Riga made a queen sacrifice. He removed the defender, now will capture on f7, and at the same time he opened up the d file for the rook. After e takes f7, black resigned. In case of king f8, this is simple, you're announcing mate in 1, and if king d7, then bishop f5 double check, bishop e4 check, just no way out, you know, these two bishops together with the rook are controlling all the retreating squares. And then very quickly, this is fantastic guys, all the pieces are attacking, all the pieces are involved in the attack, and there is no way out. Rook e6 check, and then rook c6, just without much effort you are winning the queen, and then you can even announce a checkmate very quickly. Or after e takes f7 check, if king d8, then f8 queen or f8 rook, and again very quickly all white pieces are jumping into the attack and are finishing up opponent's king. You can win black queen and win easily, right? Although the engine even shows forced mate. That's why after e takes f7 check, resignation followed. The queen sacrifice is of course impressive, and here is how Tal comments on that move. I don't know whether this really happened, but later I was told that when I sacrificed my queen against Suetin, the following comment was made: "Not bad for a dead man, don't you think?" Well, this is it, dear chess lovers. Hope that you enjoyed the game. Feel free to share it with your friends as well. And in the end, a chess problem for you. But this one is a difficult one of the most difficult mate in 3 chess problems. It's white to move and mate in 3. We'll wait for your answer in the comment section. Can give you a hint. Try to find some very unnatural looking moves. We'll see you in my next video. Take care.